Hey, Jeb Bradshaw with Yakleash.com. Appreciate you joining us. I'm just going to give a brief tutorial of our original anchor trolley. This is a drill-less anchor trolley system. It's very easy to install. Most people, like myself, don't like to drill holes into their kayak. A lot of room for error, but if you do it right, it can be great if you need it, but in most cases you can get away without it, and I want to show you this system today. We're working with a 12-foot kayak here from Malibu Kayaks, the Stealth 12, but it has some pretty standard features. You've got the handle here you can attach to. We have a point at the tip we could attach to. We have a point here. We have some points in the back, whether it's the handle, this drain plug, which wouldn't be bad. Here's another one. So we've got some options that we can attach to, and we don't need to. You really have two options for the anchor trolley system. The easiest and the most basic is to just utilize the rear portion of your kayak, the rear half, or you could utilize the front half. Some people like to install two systems, one in the front and one in the back, and as I've done in the past, and it's been okay, is I've installed one close to the tip and all the way close to the rear. That's certainly an option as well, but when you do that, you're going to deal with more slack, more potential to hang up on stuff, but it certainly can be done. So you have some options to consider. First and foremost, we have roughly 12 feet of Cat 5 Ethernet cable, which is salvaged from a building somewhere in the world. We've got 4 zip ties, pretty basic. We have a nylon ring. We have 2 stainless and nylon pulleys. And we have 2 aluminum carabiners. That's it for the materials, and the only tools you need for this drill-less system are scissors or some heavy-duty clippers. You can use either one. You could probably even get away with a knife, and a lighter. The lighter is optional. I'll talk more about that here in a minute, but that is completely optional. It's just a little extra step that I like to do to make sure we get a good zip tie hold. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to grab my 2 pulleys and my 2 aluminum carabiners. I'm going to go from the rear, just the rear half on this particular kayak. So I'm going to attach to, actually I'm just going to go ahead and go to that point there at the end of the kayak. And then I'm going to slide my pulley on there, and I'll just leave that hanging there for a minute. Then we're going to come over here, and since you're sitting roughly in the middle, you got to use your hands. So we're going to get this other one on the actual handle in the middle of the kayak, and like so. So that's hanging there. Okay. Now we're going to string it up. So just string it through your pulley on one end. Get down here to the other end. String that there. I suggest you go fairly tight and fairly snug, because first time you use this, it is going to get a little bit of stretch in it. Okay, I've got my plastic ring or nylon ring and my zip ties, and we're going to go to work. First of all, you want to make sure you maybe if there's any just plastic cover with no wire in the middle here, you want to just maybe clip off a 1/2 inch just to be sure you get a solid wire. So we're going to do that. As Cat 5 name implies, there are 5 copper wires in the middle here. Copper is pretty rust inhibitive and makes for a good strong system. Easy on the hands with the plastic coating, the PVC coating. Doesn't mildew, doesn't rot, and I just think it makes an excellent anchor trolley system. So let's get going here. I'm going to put my first half on. I'm first going to make sure that I'm going to have enough on each end to zip tie it off, but I'm going to get it kind of snug, and then I'm going to release that, and I'm going to hold this in the spot where I had it. And I'm going to go ahead and prepare my zip ties. You might want to move in here a little bit, Bobby. I'm going to go ahead and prepare my zip ties. I'm not going to tighten them all the way, just kind of get them on there loose. We're going to do 2 on each end. 1, 2, pretty easy. Zip ties are awesome. They can do miraculous things. About the lighter and using the fire and the flame, I don't recommend that you use a lighter and to heat your wire up, just for reasons of the danger that the fire can introduce. Breathing the smoke from the burned plastic could be dangerous. So I don't recommend that you do that. I like to do it myself just because it makes a little more snug hold. You don't have to catch the thing on fire. We just want to warm it up just a little bit. Makes it a little soft. And then I'm going to run that zip tie over there and pull it real snug. You can see that that'll cool off and make for a nice tight fit. Again, it's just warming it up a little bit. It's not outright melting it. And just a good tight pull on that zip tie as far as it'll go. And then we're going to clip that off. Also, I like to put a little melt on the end of that cut zip tie because it can get quite a corner on there. And if you caught it on your leg as you're walking by, it could really give you a nasty cut. So I like to melt that a little bit. Again, don't catch it on fire, but just give it a good melt and it'll round off and it'll cool off and round. And then I like to cut that little excess tail off. Not too much. You want to leave a little bit there. Now we're ready to do the other side. So I'm going to string that up. Again, I'm going to make that nice and snug because it's going to get a little stretch. I'm going to put it about right there. And we're ready to go to our other 2 zip ties. So again, I'm not going to pull them tight yet. I'm just going to set them on there, leave them loose. And then, once again, warm that up just a smidgen. Work fairly fast to take advantage of that part. Close tie, ready to go. Warm up the spot I'm going to zip. Just a little bit. Get that right over there and pull as tight as it'll go. Flip the ends. Leave a little piece on there again. A little wind going on here. Again, I'm going to melt the ends. Just to give them a little roundness. Cut your leg, scratch your car or anything like that. Just for a few seconds there. And then again, leave about a ½ inch. I'm going to clip just a little bit of that off. And we are done. No drill, no holes in the kayak, and a super little trolley system.